Well, hello. This is Rochelle, and thank you for joining me here on the Creative Retreat YouTube channel. I'm still working on the Faithfilled Digitals for November, and like I said, am really just so incredibly thankful to have these digitals because in this time when we couldn't receive mail from outside our borders, it was really great to still be able to take part in the team's work and give you guys these videos. It's just been such a blessing. And especially considering that I don't have to hoard the background paper on my devotionals because I can purchase them electronically and then just print as many as I want of this gorgeous background. So for today, I'm going to be using a little pocket and putting a little journal card with tab on the inside and then just working on a background. And I'm really just while I'm doing this, thinking of why I'm doing this. And the devotional that Aaron Davis wrote was so spot on in the sense that we need to be faithful in the waiting, or waiting faithfully, even when we cannot see the result, or even when we're not necessarily getting the outcome that we want in the timing that we want it in. So I used just this like crisp white two journaling cards from the printables, and I'm just going to kind of edge them up. I do have a acetate sheet down that I'm working on, so I'm not working directly onto my page. It does look like it on the camera, I realize. But I'm just edging the sides of this crisp white card just so that it blends in a bit more and looks a bit more aged for the specific background that I want to do. So I also backed one of the, I think it's a 4x4 card from the printables onto the devotional backing, and that gives it that pink with the dark look, which I really, really like. For my previous video, you'll see that I did all dark with black gesso and the lot. For this one, I'm going soft, and this is the Guava color Gelato, and I'm using a foundation makeup contour brush and a textured palette, scribbling it down onto the texture palette, picking it up with the brush, and then just blending it over this page to get that soft kind of background. I didn't want any harsh lines, so that's why I love this brush. It just gives you kind of like it was sprayed on, but with some texture. I like that. So while I'm doing this, like I said, I'm thinking about what I should be thinking about, which is the waiting period. And if I'm being faithful in the waiting, do you know that so many times our testimony can be larger in the parts where we're waiting than in the parts where we actually get the outcome? At the moment, we are in the process of praying for and waiting to see the miracle for my sister. She has got cystic fibrosis and needs a very large brain surgery to remove some bug from touching the membrane of her brain, and they can't do a lung transplant that she needs before this bug is not removed. And so we're praying and putting it out there, and watching the Lord do what only the Lord can do. And so this has been 2 months of, and it sounds so ridiculous, it's 2 months of this specific situation. She's been in hospital for 40 days, and people sent her home. The doctor sent her home to say, live out what's left peacefully. There's nothing we can do. And then just to see, and this is the kind of message that I put through on my prayer group, I said, humanly, there's nothing left to do for her but God. And it was so amazing how God came through and has brought now a doctor who can or believes that she can do this operation, that it's doable. And even in that, there's so many logistics that's part of the waiting for this, in that we have to fly down to Cape Town, which is quite a travel, quite costly, and all of that stuff. And it's in the waiting that our testimony is built. It's in the waiting where we we draw people to God. Because if we just get stuff instantly, then if another person prays and doesn't get it instantly, how will they believe that it's the same God that's for them as is for me? And I'm not saying God tortures us by letting us wait, but I am saying He uses the waiting to show people about trust and about understanding the letting it go out of my control, out of my hands, into His hands. And that's a whole mouthful. Quickly, just a background of what I did on the background is I used some of the older Creative Retreat stamps. This is a little cluster of stars, and I used the bonsai pigment ink to just stamp them down after I did my background blending. I scribbled around this worthy of the wait words, and as I was doing this, I was singing the song that says, "Strength will rise when we wait upon the Lord," and then hope will rise when we wait upon the Lord, and then it says, "I will wait upon the Lord," or "we will wait upon the Lord." And I wrote that around my little pocket or my envelope. And it's so apt that when I put these cards on the inside of this little pocket, the first thing on the wish list, in inverted commas, is faithful waiting. And that's really what I'm asking the Lord for in this time, that even though we're waiting, even though we're raising the funds to go, even though, we're waiting for medical insurance to approve the operation, it's very risky, all of these things, that in the waiting, I would be shown faithful. That when people look at the way that we wait, with patience, with endurance, with hope, with understanding that we serve a God that is bigger than anything we may face, that when it looks doom and gloom, that we still have joy, and that we're waiting faithfully. So yeah, taking that little piece of the Faithful Digitals where it says faithful, and I'm just tracing it through this page with a S-nib Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen. I did heat set my Gelatos, so it's easy to write over it. I found that heat setting Gelatos works when you want to then write over it with various mediums. And then I'm taking a slightly thicker nib and just, tracing away or writing away the little shaky writing, and then sticking down that word that says waiting. I'm blocking out my little verse there, which is in Isaiah 40 verse 31. Those who wait upon the Lord will soar like eagles, will run and not grow faint. And we're hoping and not growing weary because we are waiting faithfully. Thanks for joining me. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.